You threw half of your chicken, you threw all of your chicken nuggets out?
Yes.
Why?
Because it was too chewy.
Too chewy?
Yeah.
When I tasted one of your nuggets, it kind of tasted like the dough was kind of, you could taste the raw dough in it. So I don't know how something overcooked and undercooked at the same time.
That one wasn't cooked.
Yeah, you could see the raw dough on it. But it's overcooked and undercooked at the same time. I'm not going to put the restaurant on blast that served us this because maybe they had a bad day. But since I paid for that, I'm going to need you to pick that up and eat it.
Why?
Because I paid for it.
Still.
I'm just kidding, y'all, but look at that, man. When I was growing up, we couldn't waste food. But I'm sure my mom or anybody else will understand why this got thrown away. When I was growing up, y'all, you had to eat what was in front of you. If you didn't like it or didn't want it, you just didn't eat. If you know the song, sing along. Hit it. It's the Carolinas, liners, rock and roll to the roll to rock. Say I'm cooking in the kitchen and just don't stop. Rock and roll to the roll to rock. Say I'm cooking in the kitchen. Let's go, Chef. What's up, everybody? Chef Anthony Albritton here, the Carolina Cook. Cooking, tasting, and eating the Carolinas. I am the chef again of the United States. Well, let's go ahead and keep this short, y'all. In this episode, I will be on the grill. Back to the grill again. In this episode, I will be cooking up some grilled African pepper sauce tilapia. Southern playalistic soul food. Once you get on it, you can't get off it. Let's go, Chef. Excuse the noise. Obviously, some weed eating going on. Y'all gotta give me a second. I gotta get my Clark Kent on. Gotta change my uniform. I just went from chef to super chef. Now we ready. Let's go, Chef. Grab your fish, your seasonings, your passports, your purses, your wallet, your grill, whatever else you need for the trip. Come go with me. Take a trip inside of my mind and see how I did it. Let's go, Chef. Okay, y'all, I'm going to start here by cleaning my tilapia. I don't have any, huge tilapia, so I got to work with what I have. We're going to start by removing the fins. And I'm also going to, clip the tails. And let's see what else. I am going to also remove the gills. This fish was already pre-cleaned, pre-gutted for me, already scaled and slit down the middle and gutted. So it made it a little difficult to butterfly the fish and flatten it to grill it. So my process was not really pretty as far as that goes. But what I did was just split it from the bottom and kind of remove the spine and everything from the fish so that I could flatten it out. All right. That way you could get it nice and spread it out kind of flat like a flounder type, pancake type thing, and then put it on the grill and proceed to grill it. So basically what I had to do was make a fish pancake. Fish pancake, the breakfast of champions. If you've never seen a fish pancake before, here you go. Now, keep in mind, you don't have to do any of this. You can just score the size of your fish and cook it that way. But I seen some Africans grill their fish this way, and that's what made me want to flatten the fish out and try it that way as well. Now, when you flip this fish over, it reminds me of the Leatherface movie, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Okay, now, of course, we're gonna go ahead and clean this fish up, get it nice and rinsed off and everything. It's looking pretty ugly right now, so a nice bath is definitely not gonna make it look better. You know how sometimes you clean up and you look a little better? That's not gonna help with this fish, okay? But I'm gonna go ahead and get it cleaned up, y'all. Then we're gonna get into making our pepper sauce to put on it and get it ready for the grill. You can totally debone the fish, or you could just leave the bones in there. Once it's cooked, you'll be able to pull the bones out easily anyway. All right, got some red peppers, green peppers, thyme, onions. Normally you would use red onions or shallots, but I didn't feel like cutting anything today, so I bought a mix, like a, what you call it, fajita mix. A fajita mix that was already cut up, and they had white onions in there, so I'll go with the white onions. I got a little habanero pepper here. I didn't show it here, but you're gonna need some green onions. Not gonna use this whole pepper. Let's see. I spent the duration of this episode with a burning nose because I touched my nose after cutting this pepper, y'all. This is some dangerous pepper right here. All right, now I'll go with that. Then when it's time to put it in the blender to make my marinade, I'll decide how much of this I'm going to use. I just want a little kick from this pepper. I don't want to get stomped out by it. All right, now let's get over here to this blender. Add some olive oil before we blend our ingredients up. Okay, I'm adding my thyme. Even though technically I'm taking my time to make this video for y'all, that's not the thyme that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fresh aromatic called thyme, all right? The herb, okay? Then I'm gonna go ahead and add my white onions, my green bell peppers, my red bell peppers, and my green onions, okay? Then we're just gonna blend that around. I mean, you can add more ingredients to your pepper sauce, such as tomatoes and smoked fish and all of that. But that's not what I'm, trying to do this time, because I'm just making a simple rub for my fish. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and give this a spin around the block, y'all, for about a minute or so, until your consistency looks like this. Here's a close-up. Until it gets like the consistency of a smoothie. All right, now what I'm going to do is add some olive oil to my cast iron skillet, get that nice and heated. Then I'm going to go ahead and add this pepper sauce mixture to that, and we're just going to, cook it up a little bit to bring out the best of those seasonings and flavors in there. Speaking of seasonings, we'll get into the seasonings after we begin, cooking up this sauce a little bit. Okay, so we're going to start it off with some garlic paste. Then I'm going to double back with some ginger paste. Okay, now we're going to stir that around, mix it around in there. And I'm doing all of this at a moderate heat, y'all. Keeping the heat level under control so that it doesn't get away from me. Now, I'm going to add some chicken bouillon. Then I'm going to add some Adobo all-purpose seasoning. If you don't trust your inner chef, then start by small measurements and just season to taste. Now I'm adding some smoked paprika. Then I'm going to top that off with some shrimp powder. That's right, shrimp powder. It's going to add a really good taste. It's going to really boost that flavor profile up. That shrimp powder doesn't smell good, but it gives a good taste. Now, after about 7 minutes of cooking, I'm going to go ahead and remove it from the heat and reserve it until it's cool enough to put it on the fish. It doesn't take long for it to cool down, y'all. You want it to cool down because you don't want to add it to the fish while it's hot, because it will, of course, cook the fish. So we're going to go ahead and coat our fish with this pepper sauce and get it ready for the grill. That's it. It's pretty hot down south right now, but it's never too hot to put a nice coat on your fish. So with that being said, I am going to coat this fish with this savory pepper sauce. That's right, savory. Savory enough to make you say, save me a piece. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get this grill going. I had it heating to 250 degrees. Going to spray it with some non-stick cooking spray, a generous amount, to make sure the fish doesn't stick to the grill. And to further ensure that, I'm going to place the fish skin side down and let it cook. All right, let's add that extra sauce on there. All right, then what I'm going to do is let it cook for a little while with the top down. All right, so we're going to go ahead and close the casket on it, then come back, check on it, and go from there. In your mind, you can go ahead and insert the cheesy cooking show music here. All right, y'all, after cooking it a few minutes with the top down, you know, to generate a little moisture and tenderness, I'm going to go ahead and lift the top and finish the fish off with the top up. That way I can see what it's doing while it's on its final leg of cooking, so I'll know when to snatch it off of the grill. All right, and as you can see, we're already pretty much there. So I'm going to get ready to start removing this from the grill, y'all, and we're going to go ahead and fix a plate.
Go ahead and try to get this off of here. Try to get this off of here without breaking it up. Two spatulas.
Being that these fish are relatively small, it's going to be a little harder to keep them together when removing them from the grill. I couldn't find any larger tilapia than this, and I really wanted to try this technique, so I had to take that risk with a smaller fish, which required a little bit more of my cooking skills than I was really comfortable with, but I had to make it do what it do. So if you're not comfortable doing this with a smaller fish, then a fish this size would require you to grill it whole.
I did it, y'all. Did it. Got it off of the grill whole. Oh.
You know you're happy when you're laughing like Santa Claus.
Yes, indeed. You see that right there? Let's get some of that.
Grilling ain't grilling if you ain't going in for some of that goodness that gets left stuck on that grill.
Oh my, that's good. Oh my goodness, that's good.
That is so good that I had to go back in for some more, y'all, so y'all gotta excuse me, okay?
What are you doing, my boy? All right, let's go ahead and get a plate fixed up.
And there you have it. Grilled African pepper sauce tilapia with basmati rice, red bell peppers, green bell peppers, and onions, and a little smudge of that pepper sauce on the side. Let's go, chef. Check that out. That came out nice, moist, and flaky, saturated with that pepper sauce.
That sauce. Really flavorful. Fish came out nice and flaky, man.
And for some reason, y'all, this rice pairs really well with the raw peppers and onions.
And of course, you can do it African style. You do it African style. Eat it with your hand.
This would be really good with some fufu. That's the skin side of the fish. Nice and crisp. So that's an added bonus, an added treat. And y'all, this is something I just learned today. So just remember, a quote by the comedian Corey Holcomb. People ask you what you do for a living to determine the level of respect to give you. And that's true. So I'm going to add my 2 cents to that. People fall right into it. Then they begin to stack themselves up against each other. Well, I do this for a living. Well, I do this. Well, I earn this. I earn that. And, then the competition begins of who's the biggest person. But sometimes you got to realize there's a level of power in you and greatness within you that no yardstick made can measure and that no person made can rate. So when people get into that, trying to ask you what you do for a living, trying to determine the respect level to give you based on that, just throw them off with something like, I'm surviving, or something like that. Because you're not about to set me up to be your stepping stool. We all are somebody, and we all are equal. If this world runs out of currency, if currency fails, we run out of food, water, all of that, everybody's in the same boat. Probably not the ones who run the show or whatever, but y'all know what I'm saying. Thank y'all for watching. Like, comment, share the love, and subscribe to the channel to get me into the rhythm of the algorithm. Liketh, shareth thou the love, and subscribeth unto my channel, and smiteth that notification button. Thank ya. Let's go, chef.